Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam Stuti series. Today's shloka number 18 of chapter 4, canto 2 of Srila Shukadev Goswami's offerings to Mahavishnu. Kiratahunandhra pulinda pulkasha
Kiratahunandhra pulinda pulkasha
Abhira shumbhaya kasadhayah
Abhira shumbhaya vanah kasadayah
Yenyecha papa yadapashrayashrayah
Yenye cha papa yadapashrayashrayah
Shuddhyanti tasmai prabhavishnave namaha.
Shuddhyanti tasmai prabhavishnave namaha.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Kirata,
Kirata,
a province of old Bharata.
a province of old Bharata.
Puna,
Pune,
part of Germany and Russia.
part of Germany and Russia.
Andhra,
Andhra,
a province of southern India.
a province of southern India.
Pulinda,
Pulinda,
the Greeks.
the Greeks.
Pulkashaha,
Pulkashaha,
another province.
another province.
Abhira,
Abhira,
part of old Sindh.
part of old Sindh.
Shumbhaha,
Shumbhaha,
another province.
another province.
Yavanaha,
Yavanaha,
the Turks.
the Turks.
Kasha Adayah.
Kasha Adayah,
Kasa Adayah.
Kasa Adayah,
The Mongolian province.
the Mongolian province.
Ye,
Ye,
even those.
even those.
Anye,
Anye,
others.
others.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Papaha,
Papaha,
addicted to sinful acts.
addicted to sinful acts.
Yat,
Yet,
whose.
whose.
Apashraya Ashraya,
Apashraya Ashraya,
having taken shelter of the devotees of the Lord.
having taken shelter of the devotees of the Lord.
Shuddhyanti,
Shuddhyanti,
at once purified.
at once purified.
Tasmai,
Tasmai,
unto him.
unto him.
Prabhavishnave,
Prabhavishnave,
unto the powerful Vishnu.
unto the powerful Vishnu.
Namaha,
Namaha,
my respectful obeisances.
my respectful obeisances.
Translation. Kirata,
Kirata,
Puna,
Pune,
Andhra,
Andhra,
Pulinda,
Pulinda,
Pulkasha,
Pulkasha,
Abhira,
Abhira,
Shumbha,
Shumbha,
Yavana,
Yavana,
members of the Khasa races,
members of the Kasa races,
and even others,
and even others,
addicted to sinful acts,
addicted to sinful acts,
can be purified by taking shelter
of
the devotees of the Lord,
of the devotees of the Lord,
due to his being the supreme power.
due to his being the supreme power.
I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
I beg to offer my respectful obeisances to him.
Prabhupada writes a lengthy purport to describe the various provinces that has been mentioned here by Shukadev Goswami. Kirata, a province of old Bharatavarsha mentioned in the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata. Generally, the Kiratas are known as the aboriginal tribes of India. In modern days, the Santal Parganas in Bihar and Chota Nagpur might comprise the old province called Kirata. Pune, the area of East Germany and part of Russia is known as the province of the Hunas. Accordingly, sometimes a kind of hill tribe is known as the Hunas. Andhra, a province in southern India mentioned in the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata. It is still extant under the same name, meaning that same name is still prevailing today as Andhra Pradesh. Pulinda, it is mentioned in the Mahabharata Adi Parva 174.38 vis-a-vis the inhabitants of the province of the name Pulinda. This country was conquered by Bhishma Sena and Sahadeva. The Greeks are known as Pulindas, and it is mentioned in the Vanaparva of Mahabharata that the non-Vedic race of this part of the world would rule over the world. This Pulinda province was also one of the provinces of Bharata, and the inhabitants were classified amongst the Kshatriya kings. But later on, due to their giving up the Brahminical culture, they were mentioned as Mlechas, just as those who are not followers of the Islamic culture are called Kafirs, and those who are not followers of the Christian culture are called heathens. So similarly, in Vedic culture also, those who do not follow God are called Mlechas. Abhira. This name also appears in the Mahabharata, both in the Sabha Parva and Bhishma Parva. It is mentioned that this province was situated on the river Saraswati in Sindh. The modern Sindh province formerly extended on the other side of the Arabian Sea, and all the inhabitants of that province were known as the Abhiras. They were under the domination of Maharaj Yudhishthira, and according to the statements of Markandeya, the Mlechas of this part of the world would also rule over Bharata. So at some point, the Turks came to rule over India. Then, of course, the Mughals also came to rule over India. Later on, this proved to be true, as in the case of the Pulindas. That means it was already predicted by Markandeya that other provinces or territories of the Mahabharata Varsha would come to rule over Bharata. On behalf of the Pulindas, Alexander the Great conquered India. And on behalf of the Abhiras, Muhammad Ghori conquered India. These Abhiras were also formerly Kshatriyas within the Brahminical culture, but they gave up the connection. The Kshatriyas who were afraid of Parashurama and had hidden themselves in the Caucasian hilly regions later on became known as the Abhiras, and the place they inhabited was known as Abhira Desha. Shumbhas or Kankas, the inhabitants of the Kanka province of old Bharata mentioned in the Mahabharata. Yavanas. Yavana was the name of one of the sons of Maharaj Yayati, who was given the part of the world known as Turkey to rule. Therefore, the Turks are Yavanas due to being descendants of Maharaja Yavana. The Yavanas were therefore Kshatriyas, and later on, by giving up the Brahminical culture, they became Mlecha Yavanas. Descriptions of the Yavanas are in the Mahabharata Adi Parva 85.34. Another prince called Turvasu was also known as Yavana, and his country was conquered by Sahadeva, one of the Pandavas. The western Yavana joined with Duryodhana in the battle of Kurukshetra under the pressure of Karna. It was also foretold that these Yavanas also would conquer India, and it proved to be true. Khasa. The inhabitants of the Khasa Desha are mentioned in the Mahabharata Drona Parva. Those who have a stunted growth of hair on the upper lip are generally called Khasas. As such, the Khasa are the Mongolians, the Chinese, and others who are so designated. The above mentioned historical names are different nations of the world. Even those who are constantly engaged in sinful acts are all corrigible to the standard of perfect human beings if they take shelter of the devotees of the Lord. Jesus Christ and Muhammad, two powerful devotees of the Lord, have done tremendous service on behalf of the Lord on the surface of the globe. And from the version of Srila Shukadev Goswami, it appears that instead of running a godless civilization in the present context of the world situation, if the leadership of world affairs is entrusted to the devotees of the Lord, for which a worldwide organization under the name and style of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has already been started, then by the grace of the Almighty Lord, there can be a thorough change of heart in human beings all over the world, because the devotees of the Lord are able authorities to effect such a change by purifying the dust-worn minds of the people in general. So Prabhupada is saying, just allow ISKCON devotees to become leaders of the world. They will fix everything. Because why? Because they are doing the service on behalf of the Lord. The politicians of the world may remain in their respective positions because the pure devotees of the Lord are not interested in political leadership or diplomatic implications. The devotees are interested only in seeing that the people in general are not misguided by political propaganda, and that the valuable life of a human being is not spoiled in following a type of civilization which is ultimately doomed. Hence, you see Shukadeva Goswami mentioning all of these nations. It appears that many of these nations gave up God consciousness. So he's suggesting that even if they utter the names, holy names of the Lord, even they can get purified. Even the lowest of the low can be purified. If the politicians, therefore, would be guided by the good counsel of the devotees, then certainly there would be a great change in the world situation by the purifying propaganda of the devotees as shown by Lord Chaitanya. As Shukadeva Goswami began his prayer by discussing the word Yat Kirtanam, so also Lord Chaitanya recommended that simply by glorifying the Lord's holy name, a tremendous change of heart can take place by which the complete misunderstanding between the human nations created by politicians can at once be extinguished. So these politicians play a lot of games, to create unrest, instability, because they have something to gain in mind. So all of the unrest in the world is all machinations of the politicians only. It is no accident. It's all planned well in advance. And after the extinction of the fire of misunderstanding, other profits will follow. The destination is to go back home, back to Godhead, as we have several times discussed in these pages. According to the cult of devotion, generally known as the Vaishnava cult, there is no bar against anyone's advancing in the matter of God realization. A Vaishnava is powerful enough to turn into a Vaishnava, even the Kirata, etc., as above mentioned. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.32, it is said by the Lord that there is no bar to becoming a devotee of the Lord, even for those who are low-born or women, Shudras or Vaishyas. And by becoming a devotee, everyone is eligible to return home back to Godhead. The only qualification is that one takes shelter of a pure devotee of the Lord, who has thorough knowledge in the transcendental science of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyone from any part of the world who becomes well conversant in the science of Krishna becomes a pure devotee and a spiritual master for the general mass of people, and may reclaim them by purification of heart. Though a person be even the most sinful man, he can at once be purified by systematic contact with a pure Vaishnava. A Vaishnava, therefore, can accept a bona fide disciple from any part of the world without any consideration of caste and creed, and promote him by regulative principles to the status of a pure Vaishnava who is transcendental to Brahminical culture. The system of caste or Varnashrama Dharma is no longer regular, even amongst the so-called followers of the system. Nor is it now possible to re-establish the institutional function in the present context of social, political, and economic revolution. Without any reference to the particular custom of a country, one can be accepted to the Vaishnava cult spiritually, and there is no hindrance in the transcendental process. So by the order of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the cult of Srimad Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita can be preached all over the world, reclaiming all persons willing to accept the transcendental cult. Such cultural propaganda by the devotees will certainly be accepted by all persons who are reasonable and inquisitive, without any particular bias for the custom of the country. The Vaishnava never accepts another Vaishnava on the basis of birthright, just as he never thinks of the deity of the Lord in a temple as an idol. And to remove all doubts in this connection, Srila Shukadeva Goswami has invoked the blessings of the Lord, who is all-powerful, Prabha Vishnave Namaha. As the all-powerful Lord accepts the humble service of his devotee in devotional activities of the Archana, his form as the worshipable deity in the temple, similarly, the body of a pure Vaishnava changes transcendentally at once when he gives himself up to the service of the Lord and is trained by a qualified Vaishnava. The injunction of Vaishnava regulation in this connection runs as follows. Arche Vishnu Shiladhir Gurushu Naramatir Vaishnave Jati Buddhihi Shri Vishnur Namni Shabda Samanya Buddhihi, etc. One should not consider the deity of the Lord as worshipped in the temple to be an idol, nor should one consider the authorized spiritual master as an ordinary man, nor should one consider a pure Vaishnava to belong to a particular caste, etc. So Prabhupada is quoting from the Padma Purana that a Vaishnava does not belong to any Varna or any Ashrama. They are beyond the Varna Ashrama system. The conclusion is that the Lord, being all-powerful, can, under any and every circumstance, accept anyone from any part of the world, either personally or through his bona fide manifestation as the spiritual master. Lord Chaitanya accepted many devotees from communities other than the Varnashramites, and he himself declared to teach us that he does not belong to any caste or social order of life, but that he is the eternal servant of the Lord, who maintains the damsels of Vrindavana, Lord Krishna. That is the way of self-realization. So very beautiful purport with Prabhupada referring to the historical names of the current day geography of this planet, and also talking about how anybody can become a Vaishnava. And if you become a pure Vaishnava by following the 4 regulative principles and following the orders and instructions of the spiritual master, even that person can become a guru, irrespective of their birth or caste or varna or ashram. So here Shukadeva Goswami is saying that simply if any of these mlechas simply take the shelter of the devotees of the Lord, because the Lord is all-powerful, his names are also all-powerful, such a person can become purified. And therefore, he is taking shelter of such a powerful Lord who's allowed us simply by chanting and hearing to also become a pure devotee.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.